Welcome to the Sun today for the 29th of March 2025. How many of you saw the partial eclipse this morning? More on that later. The Sun was a little more active today with a sunspot number up around about 95. We had one new sunspot region appear. We had 14 C flares, which is a big improvement, 2 M flares, about the same as yesterday, and no X flares. But there were 6 CMEs, which is higher again than yesterday. The solar wind speed had dropped to about 500 kilometers per second. Well, let's take a look at the sunspots. There were 7 regions on the disk. Sunspot area had increased to about 560 millionths, although that is still relatively low. We have a new region appearing over the southeast limb, is numbered 4048. The region 4047, which I mentioned yesterday being small, is now starting to develop. Here's the details of the development of region 4047. We have an HMI movie from the Solar Dynamics Observatory. It shows the solar photosphere at about 5700 degrees Kelvin, one of the coolest parts of the Sun. It's a 2-day movie, so at the beginning you won't see the region. There's just lots of scattered spots all over the place. But then the rapid development starts this morning, so you can see that the region starts to coalesce into a group of larger spots. Geospace is relatively quiet. KP index dropped from about 3 to 1, and on the right the auroral arc is very, very weak. So again, we're not expecting any major geomagnetic storms in the next 24 hours. Well, what about this eclipse? Maximum was about 80%, but that was only visible at high latitudes in the Arctic Circle. Where I lived, it was only 7 minutes long, which really wasn't worth getting up first thing in the morning. And of course, it was cloudy. So I hope you lot had better luck than I did. We had an uptick in X-ray flare activity. The X-ray background rose to about 1.5. We had 2 M flares and a whole series of small C flares. While there were 6 CMEs today, at least those recorded by SOHO, and I'll show you the C2 plus C3 movie. The C2 is the small field of view in the center at high resolution, shown in red. The larger field of view is the C3 chronograph image, and it's lower resolution, but covers a much larger area. And again, as I mentioned yesterday, the occulting disk support arm is now to the southeast, rather than the northwest, which it has been for several weeks. Okay, here's for the fun part. Let's see whether we can forecast what's going to happen on the Sun tomorrow. I suspect the sunspot number will rise, but not a great deal. There looks to be a new region coming over the southeast limb. The flare rate should thus increase, but again, I wouldn't bet on another X flare, at least for the moment. Solar wind speed should be lower. It was trending that way, and I think there's no reason for it to increase for at least a few days. And so we are not expecting any geomagnetic storms tomorrow. Once again, thank you for listening. If you enjoy these videos, please pass them on to friends or neighbors or relations who you think might benefit from understanding more about how the Sun works. And so until next time, stay safe and goodbye.